Six, coming to six. Oh, you're counting track actually. Okay. 2020. So yeah, six was 5 years or 6 years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hold on, just give me a second. I'm actually doing a live stream on my other channel. So for people who are listening, not knowing what's going on because they can't hear you. So I'm actually doing a live stream now with Mark from the DieCast Wings Collectors, and I'm just listening to him do Q&A, and I'll just respond as and when. So just for those guys who are on my channel. So yeah, go ahead, Mark. Yeah. So I have been doing okay. So ever since the last time we spoke, that was actually in the midst of the pandemic, right? 2020. So I was in mainland China, and fortunate to be in mainland China because I was able to be at the factory to churn out all the caliber wings, F-14s during that time. So the whole 2020 was me doing that, and come 2021, the factory decided that they were not going to be doing my stuff by not telling me upfront that, hey, we can't do your stuff anymore. It's a little bit difficult. We can't have you QCing every piece by piece, because the factory has a way of doing things, which is they just do it. And in a perfect world for the factory, mistakes are done, but it's not intentional. But you can't be sitting there and QCing everyone, because the time you take to QC, the workers are just sitting there waiting for you. So as a factory, that's not efficient. You got to have people keep on. The lines got to be running. The workers got to be doing stuff, because the factory boss got to be paying the workers. So for me to be sitting there, basically ravaging through the models one by one, the factory boss like, you can't do this. This is ridiculous. So instead of telling me that was the problem, they just simply said, oh, the F-16 is going to be this time, that time, which is the wave two, by the way, the wave two, and it was never done, right? So it was never done. And then what was worse is that they actually forbade me from going to the factory, right? So I was actually having to send colors of the wave two through mail. I was actually putting the colors on a pieces of paper, right? I airbrushed them myself, and I gave it to them, and then they just did it. That's why the entire wave two of the F-16s were wrong. The bellies were almost white. All the colors was off, because there was no me there to check the stuff, and that was just the fact of the matter, right? Because I had wanted to go with a different tone of the F-16, because as we all know, even though there's the FS colors for F-16, different squadrons at different periods of time have different tones of paint, and it's just the way it is, right? So I figured that based on what I'm seeing on the real pictures, these colors were a little bit lighter than my initial colors. So we're not going to be doing a verbatim, just copy the first colors and do it. We want to do every F-16 and every model that's unique in their own tone, and that's always been my stand, even though it has become under criticism that, uh, that's the pain. Don't mess with it. If that's the case, then you have your whole entire fleet on the display looking exactly the same. And what's the point of that, right? You want to have different tones, because under different lighting, under different whatever, it has different shades, and that's the whole idea. So Fast forward that I wasn't able to do the QC, and then it was just delivered, and that was the whole fiasco of the F-16 Wave 2. And incidentally, the reason why it was called ramen model at a point of time also helps to differentiate between that batch, which is not exactly caliber wings, right? But neither is it a dump on the brand ramen, because the ramen toy was created in 2021 as part of well, as you know, now we're celebrating our fifth anniversary. So a little bit of juggling here and there is that ramen toy is basically just doing toys. It's not models. But yeah, yeah. Ramen toy was created back in 2015 when I was in Hong Kong doing caliber toys, right? So it's a bit of this and that, because you have caliber toys, which later become caliber wings, and you have ramen toy, which also later have a branch of ramen model, which was never in place other than that particular one batch. So yeah, so ramen toy was created in 2015 when I was in Hong Kong, but it was never used. It was always a brand that was just there for the purpose of doing like third party toys and action figures. So circling back a little bit, was the reason why ramen model was done for caliber wings was because I was told when I was in mainland China that somebody had actually registered caliber wings as their IP, as their trademark, right? Because one of my friends was actually doing his trademark registration, and he actually saw by accident, that oh, what is this caliber wings? By this Chinese dude. He thought that it was owned by me. Then he told me that, and then I actually went to find out, and true and behold, caliber wings is registered under somebody in Beijing in 2020, right? So I was initially quite adamant that there's no way I will lose caliber wings, because obviously caliber wings is by me, and I've all the exactly and I've all the documentation and history from when I started in 2015, right? But in the eyes of the law, if you don't have a paper to say that you own the trademark, you don't own the trademark. So whoever has the trademark papers owns the trademark. And what that means in China is that this guy could actually come to a factory that I'm working for, that's working for me. And then if they see Caliber Wings products, they can say, oh, this person is doing counterfeits of Caliber Wing. I'm going to seize everything. So that actually works. So that was actually one of my fears, that that could happen. So that's why I changed to ramen model, right? But thankfully, like I said, ramen model became a fiasco with the F-16 Wave 2. And basically, I'm still back to my being adamant that nobody's going to come in and suddenly take all my stock. So I'm actually okay with that. So I'm continuing with Caliber Wings, as you see, with the MiG 31, everything else. So everything's status quo. Even though the guy registers Caliber Wings, because he's not able to do anything unless he makes his own Caliber Wings models, it's basically nothing to him. It's like a guy sitting on the Apple website, www.apple.com, that's not registered by Apple. As long as Apple don't pay him. In fact, the guy asked me to pay him like some money, some like 10, 20,000 RMB to get the, which, like, no, I'm not gonna pay you a single cent, you know. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I always believe that don't let stress get to you. Although there is real evidence of stress in life. So carrying a little bit on what happened to me during those years, the formative years, so to speak. So that happened, and then I basically was sort of without a factory to make caliber wing stuff. Okay, I had actually been a bit disappointed because I've trained the factory to do what I want, and I was actually producing decent models. Right, it was actually a good run of models. So I brought I saw so the factory that's doing my ramen toy now. I told the guy, why don't you help me with the diecast models? And he said okay, and that was the fiasco of the CA721417. Right, it was the checkmates because I allowed them to just okay, so show me what you can do, and they did it, and it was all not good. It was just not good. Okay, and that is the blip in our classic cats production, because seriously that particular batch was not good, and I was not able to actually do the same as I did with the factory previously, because there was no space for me to actually sit down and do the stuff and check the stuff. And even though I was checking some stuff, again the same uh issues happen with any other factory, right? Is that when you check the stuff, if they don't know what you want, they will just do it their way after you check it, and that results in colors being wrong, that results in badly applied colors, different tones on the same fuselage nose, etc., etc. You know the story, right? So that was like, okay, once I saw that, I was like, oh shit. But at the same time, I can't say just throw the whole thing away, because it's all money, right? It's all money. So it's like biting the bullet, just put it out there. If I got to discount it, I discount it, and then I said, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do the F-14. So we did that, and the second one was the Need for Speed, the second run of the Maverick and Goose uh, model, and that turned out pretty okay, right? Because now I'm saying, oh, get your act together. This is what I want, and then we did that. Okay, but still not perfect, right? Still not perfect, because I think there's some issues because I didn't like go through the whole thing. But at least it's now from zero. We're getting up, right? It's like Manchester United last season, the lowest in the Premier League in the history, and then you can only go up, right, or get relegated. So I started, of course, on the I was starting on the MiG-31 back then. That was during the COVID years. So MiG-31, and that was actually the new tooling from when I was in after 2020. So we did that. It took some time, but we finished it. And again, I was doing the effects by hand, even though I asked the factory to do some of it, and it was not satisfactory. So I was doing that. We released that, and obviously there was the fiasco of the gear gate, right? The missing strut on the MiG-31. So that was totally a issue on my an oversight on my part, because I mean, as I was focusing on so many things that they missed putting on the part that was clearly even missed on the prototype. So I can't really fault them. So I didn't catch it when they missed it out on the prototype, because obviously uh, the whole model was done on the 3D. I was checking for everything, and then for some reason I missed that piece of strat. So to one of your questions, maybe I'll just jump in, is that will the initial customers be replaced with a strut? The answer is no, because I can't do that. But I am putting back the strut for the subsequent MiG-31 release. So a bit here and there, we got the COVID situation, we got the factory kicking me out, no factory to make caliber wings, to finding a factory to make who makes toys, who don't understand diecast to make my models, which was a failure. And then we started to learn, teach them how to do it. They got a MiG-31 out, which was decent, and then finally the B-58. So again, the B-58, the reason why it was delayed was, again, even though I thought that I had instilled in them the standard, it wasn't done, because evidently, when I was looking at the final product, even though it looks good from far, right? When you look in, it's like, oh, that's not right. That's an overspray. That's a different tone. This is not supposed to be like that. And then what do? We got to go back and redo everything, not from scratch, but like redo, as if you're having a model. You got to mask it, you got to respray it, and that's how the B58 was delayed. Okay, and again, because now, like I told the factory, I cannot afford any mistakes, so I have got to check it one by one, by one, by one. So and because I'm doing also my ramen toy, there's just no way I can be focused on checking every model every day without doing anything else, right? So there was yeah, so there was time spent to check it, and then obviously there was the holidays, etc., etc. So yeah, I mean, finally things are delivered, right? So you guys have your B58 in hand. I don't think I really delayed too much. I think the most I delayed was 3 months, right? 3 months, a quarter of a year. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's right. Okay, okay. Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes, there is a new MiG 31 because initially I wanted to do the Kazakhstan version, because the reason why I want to do it is because I bought the Hasegawa kit, which is actually not a Hasegawa kit. It's I think it's a Zveda kit. It's one of those kit that they OEM, and they just put the kit in and just put in some Hasegawa decals. So I was actually thinking about my next wave for the MiG 31, and I actually bought that kit. The reason why I bought that kit was to just counter check the scale, right? Because I was doing my own MiG 31 and I got no 172 scale MiG 31 to counter check. So I bought that kit to just do a size comparison to make sure I'm doing things correctly. But of course, it's not a Hasegawa kit. So I ended up like not even looking at it because it's not actually what I perceive was like a new mold. So it's already been done before. so there was no use for me. But the decal was useful because it was the Kazakhstan's squadron, and I actually did a very rough sample on the Beijing Hobby Expo last April, and that I showed that. Obviously, not the best because again, the factory was basically just putting it together very haphazardly, and the colors probably wasn't right. There was no toning, but I just got to display something, right? I went there with the B-58 and the MiG-31. That was it. I couldn't go empty-handed, right, to the Beijing Hobby Expo, so I did that. But on hindsight, so there was more requests for an actual Soviet, right, Russian livery. So I have now changed it to a Russian livery, which I will announce really soon. In fact, I will announce it probably at the 1-year anniversary of me going to the Beijing Hobby Expo. So in April, I'll be at the expo and I'll be showing off the new MiG-31 for this year, and it wouldn't be the Kazakhstan one; it'll be a Russian version. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is like a big dent to my resume because I had shown the tracker back before COVID. We actually gotten very quick in terms of the 3D model to the tooling. That's because I actually went to Kinetic Models in Hong Kong and said, hey, you got a S2 tracker and that's 148. Can I buy your 3D and modify it so that it is 172 and there's no conflict of interest with your model? That means my model, after buying from you, your 3D is not going to compete with you because you're selling a model kit. I'm selling a complete diecast. And I'm not just copying your 3D, but I'm actually changing it so that it's more accurate to what the S2 tracker should be. Of course, that's not good to say because that means I'm actually critiquing his work, right? But I believe I've done a more accurate S2, which you guys will see once you have it. And what happened very ashamedly, in fact, is that the factory that was doing the tooling basically did it like the model kit, which means there is no joints for a die cast. A die cast requires enough joints either for glue or for screws, and that wasn't done on the S2 tooling. And I'm not at that point of time a tooling expert. I'm just there to make a model look good, give it the information to the factory, and the factory makes the model that can be produced by their methods, right? So in the end, what I got was various toolings that was put together like a model kit. And since that factory is not doing my stuff anymore, I got to find a new factory, which is my factory. My factory tells me that there's no way the worker is going to be gluing together, the engine, the cell, like two pieces of plastic, like a model kit, and start sanding away, and it's got to be like a big packs to like, tight fit, that sort of thing. So that was the conundrum. My factory said they can't do it, and I can't be doing it. So who's going to do it? So at a point of time, I was so frustrated, like you said, frustrations and stress, that I said, okay, let's just cancel it, right? Let's just bite the bullet and cancel it. But then again, the person in me, the fighting spirit, said, no, I can't cancel it. So how about this? Why don't we do a Kickstarter and let the fans help me to fund it so I can do new molds for the parts that requires new molds? But I never got to that because I was so busy with my stuff that the factory who was supposed to help me to make the necessary corrections and then allow me to do the Kickstarter, we never got to it. So that was something that was just material facts, right? And also, I'm not any expert in Kickstarter, so I'm not even sure how to begin doing a Kickstarter page without employing someone to do it, and that's more cost, right? So all these in my mind, the cost, right? We've already invested the money on the initial tooling that has not seen the light of day for what is coming to 6 years now, right? 6 years. A project. So I got my highs and my lows is going to be the S2 tracker that was announced more than 6 years ago has not seen the light of day, even though we've seen the test shot, right? We've actually seen actual metal. So that's something that I got to get onto to sort of finish the business. And what I intend to do now is to just have the factory put together something, maybe a very limited run, because the fact that they can't do it in mass production, maybe they can do it in limited production, right? So let's do a limited production of the first two models and get it out the door first. Let the collectors critique it, and then just like the MiG-31's missing strut, we can go back with some sales to go back and retool some things and then properly put out the S2. So that's the current plan, which I hope to achieve by the end of this year. Yep. Okay. Yeah. F-16. Yeah. The fitter. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Of course. So when I started the SU-22, the SU-20, the fitter, I decided to give JC's factory the manufacturing of it, right, as well as the tooling of it. So we again, at the point of time, I was juggling between that factory that was doing my stuff, or before. So before I found that factory that was doing my stuff, I was looking for an alternative just in case, right? The just in case alternative. But I knew that JC's factory couldn't do at least the stuff that I want to do. That's from seeing their production of the other VT Wings mold. But I decided to give it a try just to maybe I can educate them to do it. So the fitter was done with them, the tooling. But again, the tooling somehow was not to my standard, and I wanted to make some changes. And at that point of time, the tool maker was saying there's going to be no more changes. So what do? I told JC, what do I do? This is when I open the wings, it's scratching the paint. The canopy is not sitting properly. There are some visible seam lines on the fuselage. The hot points are loose. One side of the gear covers is good. The other side has a big gap. You can see it. The if I'm not mistaken, the something on the side of the fuselage on the front landing gear was reversed. There was a few issues, right? And then I said, I want these issues corrected. But the tool maker is saying, no, this is already the price that we have paid, and up to this point is the price. The money is gone. That means if they're doing more work, it's going to be more money, which is like, what the hell, right? So after a bit of back and forth, I said, okay, then let JC have the tooling. I get my money back, and then that was it. So for some miraculous reason, or miraculous ways, not reason, they were able to put out the models, and I look at it, I was like, oh, everything that I wanted is solved, you know. So and I think that the quality is not bad, right? So at least there is, yeah. So kudos, right? Kudos that it was done. And then after that, since I'm not doing any production due to my factory situation, I OEM my tooling to them. So they actually are using my tooling for what we call OEM, right? Original equipment manufacturer. So they didn't own my tooling. I'm just lending it to them, and then of course taking some, yeah, a bit of, yeah, a bit of, yeah, a bit of stuff. So yeah, that's the whole story. Of course, I'm still producing them. Yeah, as and when, I can have enough bandwidth to produce them, I'll be bringing them back to produce them. Of course, yeah. Okay, okay. Yeah, why not? Because I am also interested in the fish bait. So again, I can't promise anything now because based on the way I would have to find a 3D modeler, which is again a difficult thing in today's context. Apparently, there's just so little of these uh, people who can draw 3D models in my circle or the people that I know or the companies that I know. So it's a bit tough. I don't want to promise anything, but maybe we'll talk about that in the question of the next 5 years. So it's something that I could do. I could do surely. It requires money to draw to tool. So we'll see. Maybe we can. I don't know. Let me find the 3D modelers first, and then maybe we can get things done in the next few years. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh, definitely. Because once you make a tooling, you want to amortize it by doing more production. That's a no-brainer, right? It's just a question of the timing, and again, there's not too many schemes for the B58. So the next one would be revealed at the Beijing Hobby Expo, and and uh, and I will probably do the imaginary camouflage scheme as well. So yeah, yeah, okay. Um, I don't think so. No, there's no such rule. It depends on how you. It depends on how you sell, how you manage your finances, how you. Yeah. Yes. So the last time at the previous factory, I've already came up with the flaps down version, the revised gear door, front landing gear door. That's in four pieces. But of course that wasn't done, and I've lost the prototypes on that one, and I don't have the 3D because they did the 3D for me. So that means that I've lost all that work, and if I need to do any updates, it's gonna be from scratch. So I don't know. I don't think I want to do any revision or updates on the F14, if I want to do it, I'll probably do it in a should I dare say a different scale? So yeah, I yeah. Mm. Okay, so now that everybody is having their models, I can announce it, because otherwise you'll be detrimental to initial buyers. So the first uh, livery, I will have a very limited run with the panel lining, and I'll show it off at the Beijing Hobby Show. So that would be the so-called second chance to get it, but it's with panel lining. Yep, yep. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So the again, I came on to the scene saying that I wanted to do realistic looking models, which includes panel lining and weathering. So I've achieved both of that. First of all, panel lining on the SU-24s, so they were panel lined in the first wave, and I achieved the weathering, so to speak, in the Top Gun F-14 models, where there's a different tone of grays on the model, as well as one of my other F-16, the RSAF. There's some toning on the models, and for the B-58, I thought that as a first model, it should be that clean version, right? Like museum quality. And I was there in Dayton, Ohio, fortunately, in 2023, to really have a look at the real thing, to digest and appreciate what the model is before I actually released the model. Because I had already done the modeling in China, right? And during that was during COVID. And had I not gone to Dayton to really fully appreciate the thing by itself, I think I would have delivered a lesser model. Because after seeing that, I still made some changes, on where what should be, especially on the markings. Got really close up on some of the markings and took pictures and was able to implement it there. Of course, I couldn't see it from the aerial point. I couldn't. There's no drone that goes me. Let me see how it looks like from the top. So that was a bit of a pity. And then at the same time, there was actually an app from the Dayton, Ohio, that shows cockpit, or rather, they recommend to me a cockpit view, some app that was from the Dayton, I think. But then again, that app was kind of removed. So I had actually planned to do all the details of the cockpit with that app by seeing the 360. But unfortunately, that app was removed and then it was gone. And I got to revert back to just looking at pictures to do it. So what we have in the B-58 uh, currently, even though you really can't see it because of the way it is, but if you do see it, we have packed as much detail as we could into those cockpit panels. So yeah, I mean the B58 was pretty good in that sense, of having be able to go to Dayton and then looking at the real thing, and uh, supporting my initial vision that the first model is going to be nice and pristine. But having said that, yeah, the panel lining is going to be done just to accentuate those details. So what you're going to have, I'll show it really soon once I have the Beijing thing. Yeah. No, I've not. It's sitting on my desk waiting for me to apply the panel. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, because panel lining needs to be done by the creator, because if you get a factory to do it, they'll just swipe it with wash, and that's just not the way it is. Yeah. Okay. Really? Okay. Mm, okay. All right. Right. Yes. I almost forgot about the YouTube, and you had to bring it up to my nightmares. Yeah. So because I had a very long back and forth with somebody who was having insights on the YouTube, and he provided me with information, etc., on the antenna farm under the belly. So I was really looking forward to doing that. But the factory that banned me from going there, when they did the 3D model, it just wasn't right. The 3D model was just not right, and I was asking for changes, but they just couldn't do it right. So much so that they said, "Oh, let's just do a hand sample, and then after the hand sample is good, we will scan it and then put it onto the computer." But the hand sample was also not good. In fact, the hand sample is worse, because they got the guy who is not skilled at doing hand samples to do hands. I can see it, because I think this person is a mediocre sculptor. He can do mediocre stuff, but if you want to do something like the shape of a U2, right? It's just not in his ballpark. So that was really up in flames, and I was and I just and there's no way for me to. I mean, it's not really financially sound for me to go back to do a U2 when obviously the Hobby Master version is out there. And even though if I can just add so much more detail to it, at the end of the day, on 72 scale, between this and that, it's all black. Most people can't make a difference, So it's just not so wise for me to do that right now. So yeah, yeah. So maybe we'll, yeah. Okay. The problem is not with the wing. As I mentioned, the problem was with various parts of the model that was tooled like a model kit. So if it's a model kit, we can't manufacture it. The workers are not modelists. The workers are workers that put one part and one part together, and that's it. In a sense, they are assembling a model, but it's assembled in a very, almost like a snap kit sort of thing. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. Yep. Yep. Yeah, that's right. Mm. No, no, nope. It's not more viable. It's gonna be just more cost. So just stay with me and let me sort it out. And the plan now is to put up actual model kits to the collectors, and then on I will see how to get income revenue to retool the parts that can be properly manufactured. Yeah. Mm. It's always viable because I wanted to do the C130 in 172 scale, right? But the C130 was not done yet because even though I've taken all the pictures from the air show of the RSCF C130, I can't execute it because I've asked about how to make the wings that merges to the body, how to make it seamless. And there's no way to do it. It's got to be separated parts. So there's going to be a big gap, a big, like a not gap, but a formation line that is that can't be erased. So that was part of the challenge, as well as not finding 3D modelers to make it. So I'm still don't know. I'm still seeing whether doing a C130 in 172 would finally materialize or not. That's something that I don't know myself. As regards to the B1, it's probably easier because there's no internals. Because for the Charlie, and also the reason for the B1 is that how you want to get the pilots in. You know, with the tracker, at least the way the canopy is done, the panel lines, you can actually remove it, put it on, and it looks as if it's part of the thing. But with the B1, if you have something that have to open, then you can clearly see the line which should not be there. So that is, something to consider. Making the cockpit. Yeah. No, it's much longer. I would say I would say the B1 is almost like uh like that. You can even see. Yeah. 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 Not really, because I don't know. It's oh man. So when I was at the Air Force Museum in Dayton, I took very intimate pictures of the Bronco. Right. So that's one. I also, surprisingly, the MiG 29 was in the Air Force Museum. Right. Yeah. Okay. And I think the Fogler D is interesting. Obviously, I wanted to do the frog foot, but that was already done. So much for that. Um, so five. I listed three, so two more. I would say. I would say. I would say like A330, A330 that's being used. I saw it in the RSCF at the at Singapore Air Show. And last one. Hmm. Maybe like they were saying, like if you don't do the Tiger Shark, not the F5 but the F20 Tiger Shark. Yep. Yep. So so the elephant in the room is the engines, right? The engine, the cell. So when I did, remember that there is no good model of the B58 to copy. Okay. And the Italo one is really not there at all. Is so wrong. And the monogram 148. I don't think I don't have the 148, so I can't put it together and scan it. And again, I don't think model kits done in that era is going to be any more accurate. So there was nothing for me to work on, nothing, right? It was just views, right? Side view, top view, and just put it together and look at actual pictures. This was all before I went to the museum, right? So the side view of what I found was the so-called most accurate, had the engines in that shape in the side view. So if I were to use that thing, the resultant image of the engines is going to be that size. And then I had no idea that there was no side view of the engines looking slimmer. Let's put it this way, right? And then there are also some comments about how the engines have evolved, and I can't confirm that because there is no factual data or literature that tells me that, oh, there was a version like this and then they changed it to like that. I don't know, but I do admit that in various B-58 photographs that you see online, the engines are not as pronounced as my model. But like I said, the reason why my model was like that is because it stems from the side view of a blueprint. And there is no blueprint that has clear lines that has the engines in a slim state. Again, when you talk about blueprints, there are two kinds. The ones I'm talking about has to be really detailed. I'm not talking about those where you just see like a simple outline of the aircraft, right? We don't use that's not a blueprint. Yeah. 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 Mm-hmm. Right. Right. and and the thing is, yeah, and the thing is, I always share the progress of everything I do. I shared images of the I shared images of my site view, I believe, on Facebook. I've shared images of how it looks on the site, line drawings, basically. I've shared prototype pictures. Nobody said a damn thing, right? If somebody would have said, "Oh, this is wrong," and show me how to correct it, don't just say it's wrong. It's easy. Oh, that's wrong. That's wrong. But what's right? If you want to tell me something is wrong, you show me what's right. Then we can go and do it. Because this whole thing is a whole. I'm not a guru, right? I'm not some spiritual guru who knows everything. I rely on actual pictures. I rely on people who are in the forces who have actually touched the real thing, who knows definitely more than me. It's a community, right? It's a community. You got the aircraft photographers, you got enthusiasts. Yeah, so it's all these people who have the data who should contribute, and it's free to contribute. I'm not saying no, I'm not going to listen to you. If you have something to provide, then show it to me, and I'll be gladly incorporate it into the mistakes. But nobody said anything about the engines until I showed the test shot. And when it's a test shot, that means the molds are done. Okay, don't expect me to go and change it now and then pay another, $10,000. Yeah, so yeah, sure. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And of course, I want to also address the other side of the community and fans who think that they have information, but when I receive that information, it's exactly what I see online. So I can't really like say, oh, what I'm saying. So there were some people who say, oh, I got some information about a B-58. I said, yeah, send it to me. And when I saw it, it's exactly what I saw online. So it's not any like new information that you know. So Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. My curse. Yeah. No, it's fine. Oh, speaking of Christian, like I said, okay. So the reason why I banned Mr. Christian is because of the things he said, right? You don't say those things to a person because those are nasty things, right? It's I'm not sure what went through the mind, but at a point of time when the what was said, it's hurtful, right? Because we have to be accountable for our actions. As simple as that. And the reason why I refrain from speaking to some people in the community is because of their actions. Because I believe that uh, you know, again, I am responsible for my actions, and I've never blatantly put somebody down, right? I've never purposefully said somebody was something else, or rather speak with behind somebody's back. Those are the things that I don't do. If I'm speaking about somebody behind somebody's back and showing uh evidence, that's because I'm sharing this person to another person to support my claim. That's all, right? I don't like spread rumors or fabricate nonsense. So so that is something that I take very seriously, because I don't want people to be two-faced. That means they they trash you in the background, and then they talk to you. Hey, Mark, I'm your friend, but I trash Mark in the background. I don't appreciate that. So that for me is are my rules. So sorry to uh, go off on a tangent, but like I said, the rules are rules, and you know maybe I will. And there's always forgiveness. Maybe I will go to the screen and just unban Christian. No worries. Yeah, it's all good. We're all adults. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, because okay, yeah, 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 yep. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Is that right? Oh, so I've actually, again, hopefully Vincent will not be taking umbrage with me on this one. So I've actually been in talks with Walterson, also of Valor. I would say at least 3 years ago, right? On collaboration on the 148. Okay, because again, on a point of time, I was looking for a factory, and they have a factory, and as long as the factory listens to my instructions, we can get it done. Because again, a factory is a factory. It's all the same. It's all workers, right? It's about the management. And yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, so obviously he has also done some wonderful things with his own F-16 in 72 scale, right? We don't talk about that. So, but the whole idea was to see if we can come together, join forces, and do 148 scale. And exactly the first subject is F-16. Okay. Apparently, there's nothing from that discussion, and I am contemplating a few things. So first of all, I'm toying with the idea of doing a 164 scale. All right, because I see so many. Yeah, it's a skill for cars, right? So it's a skill for cars, but at 164, it elevates 72 scale to a bigger spectrum. At and it's bigger, you can see more things. And because everybody having 72 scale is the norm, right? But at 64 scale, it is bigger, but not as big as 148. And I'm thinking that when people talk about collection, everything at 164 that's in thing now with the cars, with aircrafts coming in, it might appeal to the car collectors to collect aircraft. And then it might be a new skill for aircraft collectors to collect and see more detail. So it's sort of like an elite skill, right? It's your favorite 72, but a little bit bigger at 164. Yeah, so I'm not sure about that. It's just something in my mind. I'm toying with it. Because if you go 148, then you're being conventional. Just like all the model kits, you have 172, you have 148. So and then even though you love to have stuff with 148, as and when you get more models, you'll find that there's no space in your display for 148. And that is also the question, right? It's a mix of, you want to give people more, and when it gets bigger, you are afraid that it might not be able to survive too long. It's like, I can't buy any more 148. It's just too big. Yeah. So that's something that I have in mind. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah. Backfire B. Yeah, backfire B, right? It's just like a B1. So if you can do a B1, you can do a back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. The uh yeah, like I said, I had created this Ace of Aviation in 172 scale, and there are a few very famous pilots, right? So we could probably scout them. I think Chuck Yeager just right. That's right, and yeah, and was that there's the famous F-14 F4 pilot Robin something, Robin Olds. Yeah, so I'll probably, yeah. So yeah, those in mind, as well as maybe some more prominent F-14 pilots. So we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Mm, yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. It was actually announced. I think I announced it actually. It was supposed to be 1418. So that's coming up this year. I will see to it. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Well, I think Century Wings was never in the conversation because ever since we started, they were just doing reissues of the F-14s, and that was about it. I don't think there's anything else that they did, right? It was just no, 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 no. Century Wings was the first detailed F-14, and then I think Force of Valor sort of copied it. I think, yeah, and then Hobby Master copied Century Wings. So I mean, it's a verbatim copy. It's not even there's no effort to change up. Yeah, there's no. Yeah, so I think Century Wings for me has no bearing. I never saw them as anything other than having a significant part of the diecast era timestamp that they produce such a back then detailed stuff, and the SR-71 and all these things. So yeah, I mean, kudos to Century Wings for putting diecast collectors with that era of good models, and I think the sculptor Yoshi or something, Mr. Yoshi-san. So yeah, I mean, kudos to that. But like I said, in terms of Century Wings and how it correlates to us, there's no correlation because it's totally two different things, and they weren't coming up with new tooling anyways, ever since their 10th anniversary. So we just celebrated our 10th anniversary, although it was a bit of a like almost 3-4 years of void. There's no models, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, right? So we released our B58. I got to get more models coming, so please bear with me as I restart the engine. It's going to take some time because a body at rest tends to stay at rest, and to start it takes more energy. So I'm going to do that. And then for the next 5 years, let's see. Let's first of all put out the S2 tracker, and let's see if we can move into 148 territory, and then some of your if I can even get to do my Bronco. I'm not sure. At 172 is so small, right? So we'll see. And really, yeah, 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 mm, yeah, 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 yeah. And I think one of my goals, hopefully, is I'm able to collaborate with model kit makers because I was actually in Nuremberg, Spielwarenmesse, like a year ago and 2 years ago. I was there, and every time when I went there, I was basically seeing the European model makers, like the ones the guys from Ukraine, some other European, and then they have done the molds. They have done the models, not the molds per se. I'm not interested in the molds. I'm interested in the 3D models. So I was speaking with them, saying that, hey, can we collaborate so that I can expedite production? That means if you already have the 3D, can we collaborate to use your 3D? I'm making a die-cast model. I'm not making a competing model kit. You don't have to worry about me competing with you for your 3D, for your model, because I'm doing a completed model. But what happens that with your model, it expedites the process. It takes a long time to make a 3D model. And for what it's worth, how many years I have left, how many more 3D can I produce? But if I had the collaboration of all these model kit makers, and then they provide me their 3D. I can co-brand. This is a, you know, Z Veda and Set and Caliber Wings production. That means they are original designs, but adjusted to become a diecast model, right? If you have and all these other academy and trumpeter, they've all these so many models, right? Just pick and choose what we want, do a collaboration, and then get the models out in a more speedy time than starting from scratch to draw and check and everything. So I think that is something that I hope to achieve in 5 years time, but who knows? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Um, wow. I'm very proud of the SU-24 because before making that, there was no accurate SU-24. I believe in model in because they all got the nose wrong, and so I think I did justice to that. So the SU-24 is one of my, in fact, one of my best in my mind. F-14, it's so mainstream that you can't really say it is and I think I didn't get a canopy too right on the F-14. As in hindsight, it's gonna be much closer to the things lower. Of course, you mentioned about the entrail, the wings, right? The angle, things like that. So, and F-16, it was a little bit difficult because of certain panel lines that I think I didn't get right on the fuselage. So that was a bit of a bummer for me. Although I got the bubble canopy shape correct. So everyone is actually a baby. But which one is the best? I would say maybe the B-58 because that's the latest, and I always Kaizen. Uh, Kaizen meaning that I want to do better for the next one than I did from this one. So yeah, I think B-58 currently and I was there. I witnessed the actual aircraft in Dayton. So I think that is would say would be the one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How many people? Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 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 Thank you. Sure. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think more importantly than my success or whatever is that people get to own something that they really want. That's the crux of it, right? So again, no point putting out something that is, I mean, like quickly put together and just for the sake of a new mold. You got to have effort because this hobby is all about detail. and if you don't have the details, and then most people are buying things because they have no choice, right? In the current market, they have no choice. There's no other manufacturer. I was speaking to S11, S14, the Japanese brand S14, when we are in Japan, and we had this conversation that it seems like the diecast world is reliant on people like us, and I see that JC is doing good stuff now with their F4 Phantoms and all these things. So please keep it up, because the hobby needs the creators. Without the creators, then we're just getting stuff that is just shoved down our throats because there's no other option. I mean, when you talk about diecast models, the only brand that people know is Hobby Master. It seems like there's no other brands. There's only Hobby Master. Hobby Master is diecast aircraft. That's it. But Hobby Master should really spend some effort to just spend some effort and make something better, because they have obviously the resources. But then again, who am I to tell them anything? So that's my final thoughts. Yeah, keep the. I mean, again, it's the 80-20 rule. Possibly 80% of the collectors have no idea what we're talking about, and they have no idea what they're buying. But 20% are the ones that really sees everything, and that's what we are doing it for. Because again, you can only do great work, as Steve Jobs said, if you love what you do, and that's what I'm doing. I'm applying, and I got to first get over my own conscience. If I'm putting out something that's shit, can I say, oh yeah, sure, because they're going to buy it anyway, I'm going to get my money, no, because I can't put out shit. And that's the whole reason why we're here. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Sure. Thank you. All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. So I just concluded the live stream with Mark. And if you guys are still here, apologies for, because he can only do this on IG. So I'm on IG with my earphones, and you can't hear him, obviously. So yeah, thanks for joining. I just thought of throwing up my live stream so that you guys can also see and hear me speak on my channel. So I'd like to say hello to Eddie Thompson, if you're still here. If not, it's fine, because you've been here since 1.5 hours ago. So thank you so much for the kudos on the B58. As I mentioned in my stream with Mark, all the efforts taken in doing it. David Batistella, hopefully I got that name correct. Thanks for joining me here on this impromptu live stream. Joe, thanks again for supporting the B58. I couldn't have done it without you guys, right? So the Titan, yeah, you picked up some Macross malls as well. Thank you so much. And Marcel was worth the wait. Yes, I would have loved to deliver it much sooner, but unfortunately, when I see the stuff that's not up to the standard, there's no way I can just deliver it. I got to rework it, so to speak, so that literally caused all the delays. So what's the next project? The next project is getting a few more models out from my existing tooling, right? The MiG 31 is going to get a new product, a new model, a Russian livery. I'll show it off at the Beijing Hobby Show. The B58, a new weathering version, as I mentioned in my live stream, as well as a new livery. And they'll be shown at the Beijing Hobby Show. And then finishing off the project of the S2, I'll probably just do a few very limited run of models based on the two liveries that I promised from way back. I got to just get it done because it's the reason why it's not done is because the factory can't manufacture it. Right, the parts are in such a way that the workers can't do it. So it's going to take so much effort just to do one thing. In that case, I'll just propose that they do a very small limited run, not by the hundreds, maybe 100 or so. We'll see how it goes, and then see what's the next tooling, right? Like I mentioned earlier, it could be a 164. I'm trying to invent the 164 for aircraft. Otherwise, I am looking at the 148, which was discussed before, on F-16 and F-14. Obviously, you're going to be doing a bit more like that, and then do a model that can be churned out with many liveries. That's just the nature of the business. You can't be doing a 148 something that has only one, or two liveries, and that's not good, right? So it's all about that. Zhang Ming Han, thanks for joining. I appreciate that. Roger as well, waiting for the S2. As I mentioned, I'm going to get that done. Chris, thank you for supporting the B58. It's hopefully, like I said, it just brings so much joy that people are appreciating it. And like I said, more so than me, they have something that they love in their collection, right? And that is the crux, to deliver something that people can put in their shelves and then find joy in appreciating it, looking at it, and then connecting with it. That's the whole idea. And let's see, Rocco Ben, any plans for 172 bombers in the future? Well, I mean, B-29 is something that I've always wanted to do. B-52, not really, because I think that's going to be too damn big, right? B-36, I can look at that, but 29, the Stratofortress Fortress, is something that would be interesting for me, because with what I've done for the B-58 on the silver, probably we can apply it for the B-29, and that'll be very interesting to do. So I'll see how to get it done. The challenge is obviously to get it modeled. Yeah, that's the challenge. And Jamie, thank you for again supporting the B58. I appreciate your business, and I appreciate you loving it. That's job well done. So really appreciate that. For Bryce, retooling of the Tomcat, it would be a new tooling if there's ever a chance of that. I don't believe in retooling, or maybe what you meant is a new tooling. So retooling, that means you take your existing tooling and then you change it, which is never a good idea because you're gonna screw it up. So it's always about making a new tooling. So I'll see how because the F-14D is supposed to have no glove vanes, so I'll probably not use the existing A model tooling for that. Maybe just do a brand new one. Like I said, I need time. Most importantly, funds to get it done. So do bear with me. Largest scale, like I just mentioned, 148. I'm looking at that, and of course, at a larger scale, you need to make sure that the details are there. So it's going to be more work, definitely more work. Thank you for joining. Quite sad you missed out on the B58. There will be more, so not to worry. In different liveries, as well as the weathering version. So not to worry. You won't miss out. There will be B58s, right? It's not as if I make a tooling and just do 1,000 and that's it. Call it a day. Close shop. We're gonna have more because it's expensive tooling. I need to get the investment back. J20. Oh yeah. J20. Yes, I'm looking at Chinese ones as well. So that's part of what I was looking at. there is a chance, obviously, right? Let me sell some models first, get money back to retool, and we can call it new tooling in the future, right? So not to worry about that. And once we have that, and because the engines are swappable, we can probably sell the engine parts as a separate for you to put onto your existing ones. Joey, thanks for joining the Love the Hustler as well. Thank you so much for supporting it, my friend. And of course, the S2 I just mentioned is going to be pushing forward with whatever we can do. And of course, you're going to say it's the most epic. Yeah, that's the whole idea, right? Make something epic, leave my fingerprint. Yeah, so thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yes, so we talked about that before that because the stream was on IG. You can't hear anything. William, thank you so much for joining. Happy New Year to you as well. And just happy to have you back. We'll talk more in future as I get back into my groove and maybe do more streams with you guys on the Caliber Wings channel. Yes, the B1 would be insane. It would be insane, wouldn't it? I mean, a whole chunk of metal. My goodness, I think. Oh man, maybe the body has to be plastic. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because not everything can be metal. It's going to be so heavy. You know what I'm saying? Oof. DieCast DieCast. The reasons why DieCast is limited because if everything is DieCast, the weight just is too much for most people to bear. So I got to think about that. Yeah, think about that. The weight. That's right. I explained that already. Facebook DM. Facebook DM. I don't see it. But if you could email, center tank not staying attached. Please email, hopefully a video of what's happening so we can understand what's going on. Maybe a magnet was missed out. So I'm not sure what to replace you, whether to replace the part or is there something wrong with the model. So please do a video so I can understand it and we'll resolve the things for you, right? Thank you, Irish Pet, for the kind comment. I appreciate you as well. Kev Doss, could you make them available? Yeah, I just mentioned the engines are removable, so you can actually just plug it in, right? But of course, I'll be doing it right now. I can't. It costs money, right? So, greetings from Chile. Thank you so much. Chilean F-16 possible but then again the numbers might be a problem. See the problem with liveries that is not as popular, so to speak, is the MOQ. We got to do the same MOQ, so that's always a problem. So, but we'll see. No promises. Again, new mole. So I got to check it out. Hey, diecast diorama. Yak 38, huh? The Yak 38 is carrier bound, right? So, and only one livery, right? The 15. 15 is a small before the fitter, so the 15. Yeah, it's really. Oh, is it it's called the something dragon, right? Something dragon, the SU-15. Let's see. Yeah, the flagon. Sorry, not dragon, flagon. Oh, that's really retro. Okay, I'll look into it. Yes, it's all in my original mold. I just need to put it together. Yeah, so let me get back into my groove and churn that out. Thank you. Yep, on Instagram. Yeah, it's just so weird, the Instagram thing. Oh man, I gotta do it on the phone, and so it's so strange. Yeah, please do that. Thank you for your support as well on the Hustler. Yeah, the C-130 is a dream. Maybe it's a dream that's just too far, not realistic. I don't know. It's a big chunk. I mean, you gotta make sure that the cargo bay is well detailed. The ram has to be working. The propellers has to be working. I want to be working. Turn on one. But I was inspired by looking at a model kit of the 172 scale C-130. I saw how that was done, and I think this would be a kick-ass diecast. So got to see how to do it, man. Okay, plastic B1 is better than no B1. Okay, all right. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay. F-15s. Yeah, I got to correct the F-15. There's no definitive F-15, but yeah, it's just about getting the people, the resources to do it. Yeah, I would love to do an F-15. Yes, the frog foot in two-seater. That would probably be my escape from the Hobby Master one that's really done single-seater. Yeah, I love that as well. Camouflage versions. Gilbert, would love to see more foldable wings naval aircraft. Okay. All right. Thanks a lot. All right, thanks, guys. I said I will address all the comments. Thanks for joining me on this live stream that I just put together, and I'll see you guys. All right, take care, and I'll be back soon. Thank you. I got to get back to work.